Hi guys, Dan from GuitarLessonCentral.com here, and today I'm working with the wonderful guys down at Riffstation to bring you some free lesson videos. Now in this lesson we're going to be looking at the wonderful, the amazing Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'm going to give you a bit of a 5 to 6 minute introduction on how to play like the great man himself. Now it's obviously going to take longer than 5 or 6 minutes to play like him, but I'm going to give you a lick and I'm going to give you some basic ideas to really get you started on the right road. So let's start by looking at the lick. Right then guys, so let's start going through that lick. Now, I'm way up here in the E minor pentatonic shape 1. You know, this is all the way up on the 12th fret here with my first finger. That's the kind of basic shape we're using. We're also using major pentatonic shape 2 underneath in small parts of this, but essentially mainly that minor pentatonic and the blues notes. This kind of thing, as well as the odd little, let's call it chromatic outside note. And let me just walk you through the lick bit by bit. We start with this little thing. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going through this blues lick style thing where we're bending up the 14th fret a whole tone pretty much. You can do a half step there, it doesn't really matter. And then down the 12th frets, B string, E string, okay. Then I'm going to bring my little finger across. I just like using the little finger to pull off from the 15 to the 12. Then I'm going to grab the 14 up here. And that's one of the notes from the major pentatonic, okay. That's the 14th fret of the E string. And then come back to the 12th fret and do a quick hammer on and pull off from 12 to 13 and back. And this little fella here, you don't really recognise it from either scale because I would consider that to be a bit of an out note, a bit of a chromatic note that just adds a bit of tension, but is immediately resolved. You don't want to hang about on that note for too long. And then you go back to the 15 on the B string, 12, 12, 12. So when you're doing those notes, it's okay to kind of join them together. If it rings out a little bit, that's fine. That sounds great. So you get this. Okay, so that's the first part of the lick to really kind of sit there and nail. And then what we're going to do is you're going to come back to the G string and grab the blues note, okay, which is the 15th fret, just for half a second because you're going to slide it immediately down to the 14, okay, that quickly. And then pull off to the 12. Down to the 14 on the D string, and then you're going to get this. Okay, so this is a cool as hell lick, okay? So we've just done this little slide, this Stevie slide, down to the 12, the root note, and then you're going to grab the 12th fret on the G and the B string, hit them both, then 14th fret, G and B string, slide up to the 15, all the time doing both strings, okay, back down to the 14, flatten against the double 14 there on the D, the G and the B string, back to the 14, and then the 12th fret E string. Okay, so that's kind of like a Muddy Waters at the end there. So altogether that second part is this. Okay, and then we're going to finish with this very intense Texas style lick, which is this. Okay, and what we're doing again, we're going to come down that kind of bluesy, blues rock bending thing, where we do 14th fret, up, 12 and 12, back to the 12 on the B string, before taking your third finger and bending the 15th fret, just a half step, just a little nudge like that, back to the 12 on the E, 12 on the B, followed by a big old bend on the 15th fret of the high E string. And that's a full bend. You're going to give that some welly. give it a bit of vibrato, and finish on the 12 at the bottom. So there we have it, and the whole thing, 3 licks kind of in one, would be this. Here it is nice and steady. Second lick. Third lick. And now with a bit more pace. And there we have it. Okay, so just as a brief kind of kickoff to getting you playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan, because, you know, he's one of the best guitar players of all time. So as far as blues players go, you're going to learn a lot from anything you do from Stevie Ray Vaughan. But the main thing with regards to theory is just kind of combining those major and minor pentatonics in one position. So in this instance, we were using the E minor, shape 1, as well as a little bit of the E major, shape 2. Okay, so it's understanding that concept. And if I kind of combine the two, it's how we get these kind of sounds. You know, that kind of aggressive minor sound. With the major kind of sweetness sound as well, okay? So theory-wise, that's kind of what's basically happening. It's a very rough overview, but it's something that could get you started. And as well as that, the dynamic effect of Stevie Ray Vaughan. So being able to go from a lick that sounds like this to a lick that sounds like this. If you see what I mean. So I'm really bringing the audience in. Bringing it up. And you can see what I mean. As you gradually bring the dynamics into it, it gives a whole new life to the playing.